This episode of the Conversion Bible is powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you run smart discount campaigns on your store. Test it for free on your Shopify store. Just land on the Shopify App Store now and test it for free. Okay, so have you ever been there? You find the perfect thing on your phone, tap add to cart, you're all set to buy, and then bam, you hit this checkout that just feels like wading through treacle.
Tapping, waiting, squinting at tiny little form fields.
Exactly, and suddenly that amazing product just isn't worth the hassle anymore. It's super frustrating.
It really is.
So today on the Conversion Bible, we're going to dive deep into that critical moment, creating a Shopify checkout experience for mobile that, actually works, that converts.
And what's really striking, I think, is the mismatch. You've got, 81% of Shopify traffic coming from mobile? Huge numbers.
Massive.
But then the conversion rates on those same devices, they can be up to 40% lower than desktop.
40%, that's a lot of lost sales.
It's huge. It's like this massive wave of potential customers just hitting a brick wall right at the finish line.
Right.
You have to ask, what is going on in that mobile checkout?
Right. And we're not talking small change here. The stats are pretty wild. A mobile checkout abandonment rate of like 75.5%.
Yeah, staggering.
Which apparently costs businesses something like $18 billion a year globally.
Mind-boggling numbers.
So for you listening, our mission today is pretty clear. We want to give you the shortcut, basically. Figure out why your mobile visitors might be bailing, and crucially, give you some real actionable stuff you can do about it.
And stepping back a bit, it's not just about, patching a leak. It's fundamental. Mobile commerce isn't some future trend.
Not anymore.
It's the way people shop now.
Mm.
Projections say it'll be nearly 3/4 and 73% of all global e-commerce by next year, 2025.
Wow.
So if your store isn't built for that reality, well, you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Okay, let's really try and get inside the head of that mobile shopper. How are they different? Their experience, their mindset, compared to someone on a desktop?
That's the core question, really.
Yeah.
Think about the context. Mobile users are often multitasking.
Yeah, on the bus, waiting in line.
Exactly. Commuting, grabbing a coffee, browsing during tiny pockets of downtime. This means their attention spans are shorter. They've got less patience for anything clunky or slow.
Makes sense.
And they're using a touch interface. We've all fat-fingered a button or link, right?
Oh, yeah, constantly.
It's just not as precise as a mouse. Plus, maybe there's a bit more sensitivity around privacy when you're out and about on your phone.
I definitely feel that. If a site feels slow or asks for way too much info on my phone, I'm much quicker to just give up.
Precisely. And psychologically, yeah, mobile buying can be more impulsive, more emotional.
Like, ooh, want that now.
Right. But that impulse needs immediate reassurance. They need to feel confident. And the path to buying needs to be super smooth. Every extra tap, every second waiting for something to load, it's friction. Big friction on mobile.
Huge. And when you look at the top reasons people abandon mobile carts, complicated steps, forced account creation.
Ugh, forced accounts. My pet peeve.
Right. Slow loading, security worries, forms that are hard to fill out, not enough payment options. They all come back to these unique mobile challenges.
So it's really driving that shift towards thinking mobile first in commerce strategy.
Absolutely.
It has to.
Okay, so it's not just about making the desktop site look okay, shrunk down. It's a fundamental rethink for mobile users. What about the business case? What tangible results can people expect if they really focus here?
Well, the good news is the ROI potential is really high here. Compared to tweaking other parts of your funnel, mobile checkout optimization often punches above its weight.
Okay.
We see businesses focusing on this reporting. Conversion rate lists between, say, 15 and 30%.
15 to 30, that's significant.
It is. And interestingly, average order value often gets a little bump too, maybe 5 to 10%. And customer retention can improve by as much as 25%.
Wow, okay. So conversion, AOV, and retention.
Exactly. It hits multiple key metrics. And remember, Shopify's standard checkout is already pretty good. It generally beats competitors by about 15% on conversion out of the box.
So you're building on a strong foundation.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You're amplifying an existing advantage. Think of economically, too. Improving checkout lowers your customer acquisition cost because you convert more of the traffic you already have.
Right. Makes total sense.
Plus, honestly, a lot of stores still haven't fully nailed their mobile checkout. Getting it right gives you a real competitive edge.
And I guess it's not just about that first sale, right? A good mobile experience probably pays off long term.
Oh, absolutely. A smooth, positive mobile experience, That customer is way more likely to come back, more likely to recommend you. They tend to become less price sensitive over time, more receptive to your marketing. It builds that crucial trust and loyalty.
Okay, we get why it's crucial. Let's get into the what. What are the absolute must-have non-negotiable elements for a mobile-friendly checkout?
Right, the fundamentals. One of the first forks in the road is single page versus multi-page checkout.
Yeah, I've seen arguments for both.
A single page can feel faster, but cramming everything onto one small mobile screen can get overwhelming fast.
True, like a wall of text and fields.
Exactly. Multi-page breaks it down, but then every page load introduces potential delay and friction.
So what's the sweet spot?
Often, it's either a really streamlined single page, maybe broken into clear visual sections, or a very clear, simple two-step process. The key is balancing simplicity with providing all the necessary info without overwhelming the user.
Aiming for simple but clear. Got it.
Yeah. And regardless of that layout choice, some things are just table stakes. You absolutely need clear navigation and progress indicators.
So people know where they are and how much is left.
Exactly. Reduces anxiety, sets expectations.
Hmm?
Then a touch-friendly interface is critical. Buttons need to be big enough, think minimum 44 by 44 pixels and spaced out properly. Avoid those accidental taps.
We've all been there.
Visible trust signals are even more vital on mobile. Security badges, clear return policies. Put them where people can see them easily.
Builds confidence right away.
Definitely. And obviously, a responsive design is fundamental. It has to adapt to different screen sizes, different orientations. Test it.
On actual devices, not just simulators.
Yes. And finally, consistent branding throughout the checkout. It needs to feel like a natural extension of your store, reinforcing that trust.
Seems basic, but I bet a lot of sites trip up on at least one of those.
You'd be surprised. Okay, so we have the essential building blocks. Let's talk simplification. How do we make the process itself smoother on mobile?
For me, the #1 killer is too many form fields. It just feels like such a chore on a tiny keyboard.
You've nailed a major pain point.
Yeah.
The golden rule here is less is more, period.
Be ruthless.
Absolutely ruthless. Minimize those form fields. For every single field, ask, is this absolutely essential to complete the order right now?
Like, do I really need their date of birth?
Exactly. Or even a phone number sometimes. Is it mission critical for this transaction?
Mm.
Research shows pretty consistently that each extra field can knock your conversion rate down, sometimes by up to 10% per field.
Wow, per field.
Yeah. So focus relentlessly on the must-haves. Email, shipping address if needed, payment. Everything else needs serious justification.
And what about forcing account creation before buying? That's my other big one. Instant abandon for me.
Huge barrier. Always, always offer guest checkout prominently. Let them buy the thing.
Get the sale first.
Exactly. Then, on the confirmation page, then you can offer them the chance to create an account for next time, save their details, capture the sale first. And also, during the checkout itself, strip out distractions.
Like what?
Extra navigation menus, flashy promotional banners, related products, anything that isn't laser-focused on getting that purchase completed.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes on the prize.
Makes sense. Focus. And for those fields you absolutely do need, how do you make filling them out less painful on mobile?
Optimize them meticulously. Use the right HTML input types. Type email brings up the keyboard with the @ symbol. Type tell brings up the numeric keypad. Small things, big difference.
Saves taps.
Enable autofill wherever possible. Leverage the browser's ability to fill in addresses, names, implement smart defaults, maybe guess the country based on IP. And use clear labels above the fields, not placeholder text that vanishes when you start typing.
Oh yeah, that's annoying when the label disappears.
Right. Streamline the whole path. Default billing to shipping, maybe pre-select the most common shipping method. Auto-format credit card numbers as they type. Every tiny bit of friction you remove adds up.
Okay, process streamlined. Let's talk visual design specifically for mobile checkout. It's not just shrinking the desktop version, right?
Absolutely not. Mobile design requires a different mindset. You have to think physically, how do people hold and use their phones?
Thumbs, mostly.
Exactly. Design for the thumb zone. Put your main call to action buttons, complete purchase, continue to payment where thumbs naturally rest, usually center or bottom center.
Not tucked away in the top corner.
Definitely not. Avoid those hard-to-reach corners for primary actions, and ensure plenty of space between tappable elements. Prevent those mistaps.
What about text? Reading on a small screen can be tough.
Typography is critical. You need a decent minimum font size. Aim for 16 pixels for body text. Use clean, legible fonts. High contrast between text and background is a must.
So readable text, easy to tap buttons in the right place.
And clear visual hierarchy. Use size, color, spacing to guide the eye. Make it obvious what's important, what's tappable. White space is your friend here. Don't clutter the screen.
And the words themselves, the microcopy.
Super important. Use action-oriented button labels. Complete purchase is better than submit. Write clear, helpful error messages if something goes wrong. Be concise but clear everywhere. And accessibility.
Right, can't forget that.
Ensure good color contrast. Don't rely only on color for meaning. Make touch targets large enough. Test with accessibility tools if you can.
Okay, good design principles. Now back to those tricky form fields on mobile. Any more specific strategies there?
Let's double-click on forms because they're such a common friction point. Acknowledge the challenge. Small screen, keyboard covering half of it. Typing is error-prone.
So, number 1 is still.
Reduce fields. Be ruthless. We can't say it enough.
Okay. Message received. Fewer fields.
Then use those HTML5 input types we mentioned. Email, tel, number, input mode, numeric, autocomplete attributes. Optimize field size and spacing. Make them tall enough to tap easily. Full width often works well on mobile. Good spacing between fields.
What about errors? How should they be handled?
Inline validation is key. Give immediate feedback. Green checkmark for success. Clear red message right next to the field if there's an error. Don't make them submit the whole form to find out they missed something.
That's frustrating.
Very. Simplify address entry. Use address autocomplete services, Google Places API, tools like Loquate, or look up by postcode, zip code. Pre-fill city-state if you can. Maybe combine address lines 1 and 2 into one larger field if appropriate.
Make it faster.
Anything to reduce typing. Auto-detect what you can country. Maybe even use the camera for credit card scanning, although that needs careful implementation.
Okay, payments. Obviously critical. How do we handle payment methods best on mobile?
Mobile wallets are a game changer here. Apple Pay, Google Pay, and especially for Shopify stores, Shop Pay.
Why especially Shop Pay?
Because it's so deeply integrated. It can remember shipping and payment details across Shopify stores for logged-in users. It massively speeds things up. We're talking conversion rate lifts of 1.5x, even up to 1.9x higher compared to standard checkout in some studies.
Nearly double. Wow.
Yeah, so absolutely prioritize offering these express checkout options right at the top. But don't forget traditional cards.
Still important for many people.
Definitely. Optimize that experience too. Auto-format the card number with spaces, auto-detect the card type, Visa, MasterCard from the number, show visual card icons, make it easy to find the CVV field.
What about buy now, pay later, Klarna Afterpay?
Definitely consider them. BNPL options like Klarna Afterpay or Shop Pay installments can really lower the price barrier, especially for higher ticket items. They often increase average order value sometimes by 30–50%.
Appeals to budget-conscious shoppers.
Exactly. And if you sell internationally, you need to support relevant local payment methods. Ideal in the Netherlands, Alipay in China, SEPA Direct Debit in Europe, Boleto in Brazil, and so on.
But don't want to overwhelm people with too many choices.
Good point. Avoid payment choice overload. Limit the primary options to maybe 3 to 5 key ones. Prioritize based on your customer data and location. Maybe tuck less common ones into an expandable more options section.
Makes sense. Okay, speed. Always crucial online, but feels even more so on mobile, maybe with less stable connections. How do we optimize checkout speed?
You're absolutely right. Mobile speed is unforgiving. Remember that stat, every second of load time can lose you about 7% of conversions.
Ouch.
And more than half of mobile users, 53%, will just leave if a page takes longer than 3 seconds to load.
3 seconds, that's not long.
It's incredibly short. So performance optimization is non-negotiable. Start with images and assets. Compress them aggressively. Use tools like TinyKeyLG or Shopify's built-in compression.
Right.
Use modern formats like WebP. Use lazy loading so images below the fold only load when needed. And size them correctly for mobile displays. Don't send huge desktop images.
Well, it's beyond images.
Minimize HTTP requests. Combine CSS files. Combine JavaScript files where possible. Can you achieve visual effects with CSS instead of images or JavaScript? Remove any unnecessary scripts running on the checkout page.
Clean house.
Exactly. Leverage browser caching effectively so repeat visitors load faster. Minify your code, strip out white space and comments from HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Shopify helps with some of this. And use a content delivery network, a CDN.
Like Shopify's built-in one.
Yes, Shopify CDN is great. Or you might use others. This gets your content physically closer to your users worldwide, reducing latency. And crucially, monitor and test. Use tools like Google Page Speed Insights, Web Page Test, look at real user monitoring, RUM data if you have it. Set performance budgets like our checkout must load in under X seconds and stick to them.
Constant vigilance on speed. Okay, trust, huge factor. How do we build that, especially on mobile where people might feel a bit more vulnerable?
Yeah, mobile shoppers often have heightened security awareness, so display trust signals clearly and strategically. Those security badges, SSL lock, maybe McAfee or Norton if you use them, payment logos like Visa MasterCard.
Where should they go?
Place them near sensitive fields, like the credit card input, and near the final purchase button. Don't overdo it and clutter the page, but make them visible. Provide clear, concise privacy reassurances near forms asking for personal info.
Like, we need your email to send order updates.
Exactly. Explain why you need the data, link to your full privacy policy, but maybe offer a super brief summary right there. Be totally transparent about pricing.
No surprises at the end.
None. Show the full breakdown item, cost, shipping, taxes as early as possible. Clearly communicate your free shipping threshold if you have one. Integrate social proof subtly.
Like reviews.
Yeah, maybe a couple of strong, relevant reviews near the checkout button.
Yeah.
Or even those little someone just bought X notifications, if done tastefully.
Yeah.
Make support easily accessible.
How?
For multiple contact options, chat, email, phone. Make the contact info visible. Link to an FAQ. Live chat can be really effective for high-value checkouts. And finally, just ensure a professional design.
Back to basics.
Yep. Consistent branding, no typos, good quality images, clean layout. Avoid anything that looks amateurish or suspicious. It all adds up to build that feeling of trust.
Okay, let's get really practical for Shopify merchants. How do they actually implement this stuff on the platform?
First, leverage Shopify's native capabilities. Absolutely use Shop Pay. Enable dynamic checkout buttons, those buttons on product pages that let users jump straight to checkout with their preferred method. Configure your customer account settings smartly.
Right, use the built-in tools.
Definitely. Now, customization level depends on your plan. Basic Shopify and the standard Shopify plan have limits on checkout customization. Shopify Plus gives you access to the checkout.liquid file, which allows much deeper changes.
So Plus users have more flexibility.
A lot more. But regardless of plan, choosing a mobile-optimized theme is critical. Look at theme reviews specifically mentioning mobile performance. Check how often it's updated. Test the cart-to-checkout flow thoroughly on mobile before committing to a theme.
What about apps?
Apps can definitely help. There are apps for address autocomplete, advanced abandoned cart recovery features, displaying trust badges or review snippets, post-purchase upsells. Explore the App Store.
And for Plus users with checkout.liquid.
They can do things like add custom trust badges directly into the flow, tweak form field layouts, implement custom progress indicators, add mobile-specific messaging or banners. But it requires coding knowledge or developer help.
The absolute most important thing, though.
Test. Test across different devices, iOS, Android, new phones, older phones. Test across browsers, Safari, Chrome. Test on different connection speeds if you can simulate that. Real-world testing is crucial.
Okay, things inevitably go wrong sometimes. What are some common mobile checkout headaches and how do we fix them?
Form validation errors are a big one. We touched on this, but implement real-time validation. Clear, specific messages right next to the field. Visual cues like color, auto-formatting can help prevent errors in the first place, like for phone numbers or credit cards.
What about dodgy mobile connections?
Network interruptions, yeah.
Yeah.
A pain. Try to implement some form data persistence using local storage in the browser. If the connection drops, they don't lose everything they just typed.
That's huge.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe implement automatic retry logic for submissions if the network blips. Provide clear recovery paths if something fails badly. Minimize the data needed in the first place, reducing the impact of interruptions.
Browser issues. Still a thing.
Less than they used to be, but yes. Test on the main mobile browsers. Use feature detection rather than browser sniffing. Ensure things degrade gracefully if a feature isn't supported. Avoid browser-specific code hacks.
Accidental taps. Fat fingers strike again.
Increase spacing between tappable elements. Minimum 8 pixels is a good guideline. Ensure those minimum touch target sizes, 44 by 44 px. Maybe add a confirmation step for really critical actions like applying a discount code or completing the purchase. Give visual feedback when something is tapped.
Security worries popping up again.
Address security perception. Use those badges. Ensure HTTPS is obvious, the padlock. Use reassuring microcopy like secure payment. Offer trusted payment options like PayPal or ShopPay.
And the keyboard getting in the way.
Yeah, the on-screen keyboard obscuring fields. Structure forms vertically so the active field stays visible above the keyboard. Test how scrolling behaves when the keyboard is active. Use the right input types to get the optimal keyboard layout.
Okay, so you've implemented best practices. How do you know if it's working? How do you test and keep improving?
Measurement is everything. Before you start changing things, baseline your current metrics. What's your mobile conversion rate now? How long does checkout take, on average, for mobile users? What's your mobile cart abandonment rate? Where exactly are people dropping off? How frequent are errors?
Get the starting point clear.
Exactly. Then, use A/B testing systematically. Test one change at a time: button color, text on a button, order of fields, a new payment option. Get enough data, a statistically significant sample size, before deciding which version wins.
And look beyond the overall number.
Yes, segment your A/B test results. Did the change impact iOS users differently than Android? New visitors versus returning customers? Use tools like Google Optimize, or Shopify sometimes has native testing features.
What about talking to actual users?
Crucial. Conduct user testing. Recruit a few people representative of your target audience. Give them tasks. Try to buy this product on your phone and watch them. Ask them to think aloud. Record the sessions. You'll uncover usability issues you'd never spot otherwise.
Seeing it through their eyes.
Totally. Implement solid analytics. Enhanced e-commerce tracking in Google Analytics is a must. Track micro-conversions within the checkout. Did they get past shipping, past payment? Track time spent on each step. See which browsers or devices have the highest abandonment rates.
Heat maps and recordings, too.
Very useful. Tools like Hotjar or Crazy Egg show you where people tap, where they scroll, where they hesitate, or rage click. Session recordings let you watch entire anonymous user journeys. Compare successful checkouts with abandoned ones. What did the successful users do differently?
And then it's just keep doing it.
Pretty much. Create a continuous optimization cycle. Review the data regularly. Prioritize the biggest opportunities based on data and user feedback. Build the testing roadmap. Document what you learn. It's an ongoing process.
It helps to hear about others. Any real-world examples, case studies of Shopify stores nailing this?
Yeah, definitely. There was a fashion retailer. They boosted mobile conversion by 34%.
34%? How?
They focused on reducing form fields, really pushed express pay options like Shop Pay, redesigned their mobile cart page for clarity, and added address autocomplete. Pretty standard best practices, but executed well.
Okay. Any others?
A home goods store managed to slash their mobile checkout time by 68%.
Wow, over 2/3 faster.
Yeah. Their focus was heavily on speed optimization, inline validation for forms, so errors were caught instantly. They implemented a persistent cart, so items stayed even if you left and came back, and they reorganized the field order for a better logical flow.
Speed and usability.
And another example, a beauty brand. They recovered 23% of abandoned mobile carts.
Recovered? How?
They used targeted exit intent pop-ups specifically for mobile users offering a small discount. They implemented SMS reminders for abandoned carts, simplified guest checkout further, and added really clear progress indicators so people felt they were nearly done.
So common themes seem to be fewer fields: express pay, speed, simplification, trust.
You got it. Those are the recurring patterns in successful mobile checkout optimizations. Getting load times consistently under, say, 2-3 seconds. Making express pay super prominent. Ruthlessly cutting fields. Building trust visually and through clear policies. It's not rocket science, but it requires focus and execution.
This has been incredibly thorough. Looking forward now, any advanced strategies or future trends we should keep an eye on for mobile checkout?
Things are always evolving. Personalization will get deeper, using data to pre-fill more, offer tailored shipping, dynamic upsells based on cart contents or past behavior, recognizing loyalty status.
Making it feel unique to the user.
Exactly. Abandoned cart recovery will get smarter, more sophisticated SMS strategies, better segmentation, maybe even using AI to predict who is likely to abandon and intervening proactively. Optimizing cross-sells within checkout, those frequently bought together, or last-minute add-ons to hit a shipping threshold will get more refined.
What about leveraging phone features?
Yes. More use of things like biometric authentication, fingerprint, or Face ID for login and payment authorization. Maybe camera use for scanning cards, or even QR codes for promotions or loyalty. Geolocation for localized offers or shipping estimates.
Cool. Anything else on the horizon?
Progressive web apps, PWAs, might blur the line more between web and native apps, potentially enabling things like offline checkout capabilities or better push notifications. Headless commerce setups offer ultimate flexibility for totally custom front ends and checkout flows, separating the presentation layer from Shopify's backend.
The more techie stuff.
A bit, yeah. And payment tech keeps moving. Watch developments in crypto payments, maybe invisible payments linked to accounts, Faster bank transfer methods, new BNPL models. AI and machine learning will likely play a bigger role too, predicting fraud, dynamically adjusting forms, personalizing the entire flow. Voice checkout might even become a thing eventually.
Voice checkout, interesting.
Early days, but possible for simple reorders maybe. The key is staying aware of these trends and evaluating if and when they make sense for your audience and business.
This has been such a valuable deep dive. The big message I'm taking away is it's not one magic bullet. It's this whole approach, understanding mobile users, nailing the fundamentals, simplifying relentlessly, optimizing design and speed, building trust, testing constantly.
That sums it up perfectly. It's a holistic effort.
And the payoff is huge, turning those mobile browsers into actual buyers, building loyalty, and honestly, getting ahead of competitors who haven't focused here yet. So, listener, here's that final thought. Pull out your phone right now. Go to your own store.
Yeah.
Start the checkout. Seriously, do it now. What's the one thing, even if it's small, that immediately bugs you or feels clunky? What's that first piece of low-hanging fruit you could tackle today to make that experience just a little bit better?
That's a fantastic, actionable takeaway. Find that one thing.
This has been the Conversion Bible. This deep dive on the Conversion Bible was powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you to run smart discount campaigns on your store. Test it for free on your Shopify store. Just land on the Shopify App Store now and test it for free.